301.
Yeah, maybe in 1 minute. Yeah, so we are just we shall start maybe in a minute, Prashant.
So yes, so it's 3:01 now, and we are starting off with 89 participants. So welcome Seed Fraternity, welcome Seedmen to our webinar of COVID-19 on importance of seed quality through seed testing. I request Mr. Kiran Gubba to start with a welcome address to this webinar.
Namaskar. Few of you, know me as Gubba Kiran, and I'm CEO and Director of Gubba Seed Cold Storage. In fact, this is the second webinar Gubba is hosting since the COVID lockdown. And the first webinar was first time in the seed industry a webinar happened. I think it's in the first week of April. Very, very challenging times then compared to what we are today in May. A lot of anxiousness were there, a lot of confusions were there, where to go, what to go, which, how, when. So we did webinar in those unprecedented challenging situations. We had close to 900 people registered for the event and close to 550 came online. And yeah, to taking on taking on further, I keep saying at least for the past 2 months or so, we the seedmen out there also who are like 110 participants and so on, and the seed fraternity across India, we are actually the COVID warriors too. It's just that we don't wear our white gown or coat, but yet the men and the women in the seed fraternity are COVID warriors. We don't work, then India will not have something to eat after 6 months. That's the critical industry which we are working out. Seed is the backbone of the Indian agriculture. So why we chose this topic? Because the seedmen wanted this topic, so we chose this topic. And our intention is only that through this madhyam, the seed fraternity gets some quality inputs such that the farmer gets the best seed to sow. Thank you, Deepti. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Kiran. Thank you for letting us know the background of the scenario of the seed industry, the situation right now. So I would like to now introduce our reverend speakers who would be providing us value with their knowledge. So first to go is Dr. Arvind Kapoorji, who is the MD of SN Highwich, who started his career as an associate professor in plant breeding and went on to serve the seed corporations like Pro Agro, Nanan, Rasi Highwich, which later translated Ascent Highwich. Mr. Kapoor's contribution made Nanan the leader in the vegetable seed sector. Apart from handling responsibilities as MD, he also headed R&D Asia Pacific. Today, after Rasi Highwich de-merged from Rasi Seeds Private Limited and became Ascent Highwich, Mr. Kapoor is made the MD. He is associated with numerous national and international associations related to agriculture. Mr. Arvind Kapoor is a proud recipient of Bharatiya Udyog Ratan Award. And today, Sir will be addressing on the topic breeding to seeding. Seed quality is vital, which is very much to the point. Our next speaker, Mr. Raghuvirendra Singh, is currently heading the quality division of Nuziveedu Seeds Limited and earlier served Syngenta, Devgen, and Monsanto seed companies. With a vast experience of assessing the seed quality for 18 years, Mr. Raghuvirendra Singh will today address on the topic seed quality operations during COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Prashant Gubba is our innovations and technical head at Gubba Cold Storage. He heads the technical department and designs the cold storages at Gubba. He has designed one of the world-class cold storage facilities for seeds in 2018. Mr. Gubba Prashant is one of the 13 people from Indian refrigeration industry selected by United States Trade and Development Agency for a reverse trade mission to USA. He is the person behind the vision of Gubba Seed Lab to serve the seed industry in assessing the quality of seeds. Mr. Prashant will address the topic COVID-19 seed testing during testing times. And our last speaker, Mr. Raja Vadlamani, currently the Vice President of Supply Chain at Seedworks International, has earlier served Advanta, Bioseed, Pioneer Seed companies. Being a seed supply chain professional for more than 30 years now, he's passionate for continuous process improvement and learning in the face of rapidly evolving and changing markets. Mr. Raja Vadlamani will present on the topic, evolving technologies in seed testing and increasing customer expectations in the new era. So we are really glad to have you all here to contribute value to our seedmen. And saying that, I'm handing over this to Mr. Arvind Kapoor to take it forward. And Mr. Arvind Kapoor would also act as a moderator for this webinar, apart from being a speaker. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Kiran. Thank you, Deepthi, for inviting me in today's webinar. Well, this topic normally is very close to me because long back I worked in the university. When we started looking into the new technology in the seed and looking into the breeding part of it. So welcome all of you, all my panelists and presenters, and all people who are now joined this webinar. And I think this technology really brings us together while sitting at our own comfort zones. But certainly this will give us exposure and interactions, which is in the present day required, because COVID-19 will not allow us to move at least another 3-4 months. So till that, I think we keep on doing our activities as a seedsman, and farmer needs all kind of seed and technologies to grow food, which is required for any kind of these eventualities more than the normal times. So we start I start with my presentation, and then you follow with other presenters. So let me show you my presentation, why I selected this topic. When we say breeding to seeding, I always feel that sometimes people say that there is a quality department and assessing the physical and physiological quality and determining that whether seed is suitable for selling to the farmers. But quality starts much earlier than that. I think as we start our breeding, the quality is in our mind. So I think what I take into those components of quality, which we normally sometime don't consider, and we only say that finally it is the duty of the quality department to assess what kind of seed it is, and then we start discussing few things, sometime which are not in their domain, but it is the domain earlier in the genetics itself. Let me show you the quality parameter required in the seed. So we normally know that finally when we have the product, we have physical purity. We need the seed should be pure itself, not other component of it, dust, dirt, or other seed. It should have the prescribed germination. It should have a vigor. It should be healthy, disease-free. It should have required moisture for storability. It must have the genetic purities, and must be uniform so that it can be planted easily in the field. How we can breed for quality traits? See, quality starts when you start breeding to develop hybrid. The day one when we make a cross or we make a segregating population, the quality is in our mind. Many quality traits like source-sink relationship, which determine the seed development. As you know that the final seed, which is the output of a plant, it should have the food which is moving from the other part of the plants to the economic yield, which we call the grain or a seed. So this relationship is very strong. If it is not strong, we find that in certain cases where seeds are shriveled or not fully developed. And see, the dormancy and vivipary is both positive and negative feature of the quality. Dormancy is a very strong component because it is a genetically controlled, and if seed is remain dormant, you cannot supply seed in the beginning. But dormancy is also very strong positive quality trait because the seed will not germinate immediately in the field if rain comes or other things are there. Like vivipary. Vivipary is opposite of it because vivipary is that the seeds start germinating in the spike itself or in the cob itself. So there are certain instances where in wheat or another crop or in the groundnut where people are really suffering from these vivipary condition, and many a time before harvesting the seeds start germinating in the field. So this is also very important we have seen particularly in the inbred parents in many of the hybrids. But the storability is also genetically programmed because many a time we have seen that if your germplasm is a very poor storer, you get a inbred line or hybrid which is very poorly stored, and certainly then we start blaming that we have not harvested properly or we have not stored properly. So I think I have one when I was working in the maize program. So I have one inbred which is not even storing for 3 months because the next time when we plant it, there is hardly any germination. So we found that these kind of genetics do exist for the storability. Genetic purity is also determined, that is a part of the quality trait that our parents should be homozygous. They are not showing any kind of heterozygosity where still the recombinants are happening. And then whether they are combined well or not, the combinability which we do. So all these terminate into a kind of quality which we put it in our final product. As you know, there are certain alleles, sometimes they are made in heterozygous condition. I have one example, they are QTS, and I found that, the tassel color in maize, we always struggle to maintain those things because the tassels, they always segregate into a pigmented and non-pigmented. So these kind of alleles sometimes they remain leaky, and you get all kind of these variations. But these variations sometimes put the production people on spot, and then a breeder has to tell him that nothing to worry. These are part of the genetics. Similarly, you have the pollination periods, which is in the male and female, which is also genetically controlled. So you can have also the pollination behavior, which is self-incompatibility or self-compatibilities. They are part of that. When you have certain kind of seed set issues in some of the crops like brassicas, you never know that the line which you are using they are self-incompatible, and there is no seed set there. So one has to look into these traits very, very critically to have, and these are all quality traits because they are encountered not by breeders. It is encountered by either production department or quality department. So also that the period between pollination and physiological maturity, because the period is that when the pollination happen and we harvest the seed, that is also programmed based on the genetics. So these are all part of the breeding component, and sometimes we start ignoring these, or sometimes we don't look into these, and ultimately the problem boils down to the productions and the quality departments. Well, how to evaluate? Because sometimes we don't evaluate these traits earlier on, and ultimately we end up with a product which is good, but there are a lot of issues attached to it, and we couldn't make any kind of profit out of it. The knowledge of breeding material is very important, that because many material is coming from the wild relatives, and there's a synteny, there is a certain part of the genome which is belong to these part, and there's a genetic drag. And these genetic drags normally end up into certain quality traits, which are either positive or negative. So you have to look into that. We also know that the sourcing issues which are coming very strongly sometime, and we get seed quality which is not of good, and then you have to reject a hybrid in the end, which you have tested, evaluated, but you can't supply to the farmers because farmer doesn't like the look of the seed. And then you have also the inbreeding depressions. Sometimes they appear in the end product, and you don't get the right quality, the genetic purity, person say that it is good, but all these things put it into a spot in the end, and your whole efforts go waste. Dormancy valuation is very important. Particularly, you have many products like even rice has a dormancy, even gourds have a dormancy, even radish has a dormancy. So these dormancy is a positive trait and a negative trait both, because it depends upon what is the period of dormancy, that how strong the dormancy is, either physiological or physical. So when you are testing your product, normally you can test its viability, that whether the seed is viable or not, but you can't give it to the farmers because it will not germinate in the field till we remove the dormancy or till the seeds start germinating. So you have to see that impact of the dormancy on it. And then certainly the viviparous condition, also very important, because of the seed which you harvest. And if it is a very viviparous, even small moisture conditions can seeds start germinating, because they are so prone to germination that even in the environment, if even your humidity is high, they start germinating. So you have to see this trait very, very closely during your breeding programs if you find these kind of observations. Storability traits, particularly I told you with the inbred lines and the hybrids, we have many lines in the corn material which is very poor in storability. And sometimes we see that when we produce a hybrid and the residue material or the inventory which you have, it is losing germination very fast. And few hybrids where germination doesn't be lost maybe for 2 years. So these are all genetically programmed. So you have to look into very critically while you are developing a product and developing your lines. And this is what the breeders should look into. The sourcing relationship, as I told you, that this is a very important, because the vigor of the seed and the plant stand depend on your the seed quality, and you really have to look into those traits which help you to deliver better seed. And this is also genetically programmed in the initial stages. You have to look into these traits very, very closely. Pollination behavior, flowering gaps, which will impact the seed quality. As you know that the weather conditions in the production areas, the seasons to be produced, if your gaps are higher and if the seasons are more critical, sometimes you get those kind of fallbacks. So you have to see that how you skip those bad weather conditions and bring as much closer to as possible, so that you can avoid these kind of issue and give a better seed to the farmers. Well, seed, when you say there are 3 stages, we call seed developmental stage, seed desiccation stage, and germinative stage. These 3 stages are very critical for final seed quality. If you see that the seed development, which is also, I can tell you, it's a genetically programmed stage, from pollination till desiccation starts. So developmental cease when the desiccation starts. So this period is very important for final seed quality. This stage is sensitive to environment condition. As you have many people who are in the quality department or the seed production department, they might have seen it. If they produce seed and if there is a quick heat, particularly in wheat, people have found it, that quick heat is there, then you see there is shriveled grains, or you never get the full developed seed, and you always get a very poor seedlings, and sometimes you don't have a good vigor, and under stress condition they wilt very fast. So one has to look into these kind of sensitivities, and you have to really see that what is the time required to develop a seed. So normally we say that from pollination to harvest a particular variety or a hybrid need a month, or need less than a month or more than a month. So you can evaluate doing all kind of things. So I think this is also very important, that if this period is not complete or shortened, then you have also both in germination and storability. Seed production location is important, and seed season is important. As you know that we are producing seed in season and off season, and normally in season seed, which is a good season to produce, you have a better quality of seed. And normally in off season, sometimes we get not a good quality, the vigor is not right, and also storability of the seed is under question. So these are some of the areas which one has to look into. The seed desiccation or moisture loss period is also the period is important, because.
So sorry to interrupt, but 10 minutes, just to update you, 10 minutes are done.
9 minutes or 10? Yeah. So just I'm completing it. So I think this period is also important, and germinative phase, as you know, that it is also very important that you are extracting seed well. You have physiological changes. You have the polymerization of metabolites during this phase, so that you get a good seed which is delivered. So I think while you are post-harvest things, mechanical extractions, all these things has to be taken care very, very clearly and strongly. So I think these periods are very important to understand all these things. Post-harvest handling, as I told you, they are very important, that how you mechanically extract the seed, your machines, they should not damage the seed or the seed coat or the parts. So I think these are all conditions which is created for the seed to store it in the ambient conditions or non-ambient conditions, or the storage under cold stores. So all these conditions ultimately give you the quality. And then you have the enhancement of quality, which we additionally use some technology like priming, which can make the seed a little bit enhanced, because we know that we can, if the seed is not uniform in physiologically, then you can make it uniform. With that, I just close my presentation here, and I think I have your questions. If you have, just chat me on that, and we will answer these questions. Now I ask Raghavendra Singh to make his presentation on the topic on the seed quality during the COVID-19 pandemic. So let us hear about it, and then we move to other things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Arvind. Thanks for passing the baton to me. I'll run the presentation through the seed quality operations or seed ops during this unprecedented pandemic, COVID-19, which was not a healthy sign for our seed operations, but anyway, it's a part and parcel of our life nowadays, and we have to live with that. This pandemic, this basically was, if we look into the history, it started somewhere near about end of the last year, 2019, and initially it had a lot of concern. So it had a lot of concern in terms of maybe how there was a lot of litigations, a lot of concerns that how we are going to run the business, how we are going to deliver seed. But unfortunately or fortunately, there's a ray of hope which came into the picture, and ultimately the government has decided that this is the essential commodity, and with the help of multiple representations. meeting lo mein.
Cannot hear him. He's under mute. Can somebody unmute him?
Did it? So sorry, it was an error from my side. Sorry.
So we can hear you now.
Sorry. Even EFSA also confirmed that seed is not the carrier for the transmission of COVID, and later it was very much clarified that with the help of PPEs, seed business can be carried out. Initially, some of our national agencies, NSA as well as ISF, they have made the statement to the government of India and they are seeking for the permission to operate for the purpose of supply of seed, to operate with the help of seed workers, seed carrying vehicles and agri inputs to the different states. So the representation was given to the government, and the government gave the permission under the Essential Commodity Act to use this seed operation. EPSA also conducted the COVID survey, in which they have included the various companies of Asia Pacific, from India, China, Indonesia, Thailand, and if we see this, it comes out to be the challenges. I'll summarize on the right hand side the challenges which has come out due to this unwanted scenario for the seed supply due to this COVID concern. So first of all, it is majorly a lack of transparency and visibility, because it was a new concern which was never been witnessed earlier. So there was no clear-cut guidance or guidelines initially. So people were struggling for pillar to post how to operate for the factories, how to get the incoming material, trucks was piled up. So later on, it got simplified, and now the business is doing very well. Compared to the second scenario, this forecasting of demand and supply with respect to the challenges about demographics, that is also one of the challenges. Varying regulatory framework. We are working in a country like India where a lot of regulatory frameworks are there for the state-wise, which has again a problem or concern in the operations. Need to improve the supply chain structure. So structure means e-governance type of stuff, which we don't have any online order and supply of seed. So that is also one of the key challenges which is being shared by the different company groups. Unprecedented situation that acted as a game changer. If we see which are the potential losers, as per the survey, the tourism has got a hit, aviation has got a hit, automotive, construction, manufacturing sites, financial service. These are the sectors where basically the major hit has been observed or being witnessed. The potential loser, fortunately, we can say agriculture is one of the bucket where we can say that we are the potential winner in the game of supply and putting our requirement to the farmers or to the growers. And other potential winners are medical supplies, food processing industries, personal and healthcare, networking, e-commerce. So these are certain groups which got maybe win-win in this scenario. Maybe when this COVID-19, when it started, so people got perturbed and they started putting a lot of information in their offices. But perhaps now the time has come. We need to look for the more awareness across the team, because putting just information is not going to serve. We need to train the team. We need to aware the team how they need to maintain the different needs for this, how they can fight with COVID in the scenario, in the operational units, in the working units. So we need to make more proactive approach, putting some proper signages for do's and don'ts in the workout space, and maybe making awareness of isolation as a constant or as a requirement for this new ways of working. So these are some things which are by default being imposed on us, and we have to accept this while doing our business. What are the precautions or the new ways of working that we need to look at while doing the business? Maybe mask, thermal scannings at the entry point. Personal hygiene and sanitation need to be properly maintained or managed in all the operational units. Social distancing. Any by default or by error, if something got infected or infected, so automatically you should go for a self-quarantine. Digitization. In the starting of our discussion, we were discussing the same thing. So this will be the new way of working, which will help us out in fighting with this pandemic. create the virtual space, maybe more on the mails or more on the internet. Again, the requirement of retaining the employees, because a lot of, you might have seen a lot of news channels, a lot of labor movement is happening. People are going back to their homes, and due to the fear, they are not coming to the work. So that is also one of the challenges. We need to ensure that their workspace is safe and good enough to engage them. Engaging the employee and giving a continuous support. Not only the employees or the workers, and we have to drive an awareness campaign among the farmers as well as our retailers to ensure that we run our business in a healthy manner or healthy way. Parallelly, on the right-hand side, I have mentioned some of the ways of working, maybe in the lab, what needs to be done, how the distances need to be followed. Silver lining and learning from for seed quality operations. As we need to say that the way of working or how we were working in the past, due to this pandemic, it is not going to remain same. So we have to learn how to move further, because it's a part of life till the time we get some control or maybe some medicine comes into the existence. As of now, scientists are working on that, but parallelly, we can say it is a coexistence between the virus and the human beings, and we need to learn the boundaries between both of us, and the way of working needs to be changed. It cannot be the same how we used to operate earlier. With this, I'm thanking you all, and maybe I'm opening to questions.
So we are taking questions in the QA part. I think we can go ahead with the next presentation if you are done.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you. I would request my next speaker, Dr. Raja, for the passing the baton. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Raja sir, you can go ahead with your presentation. You can share your presentation.
Yeah. Actually, no. Yeah, I should. Okay, one second. No, I'm taking out my presentation. Right, share screen. Well, and the files. So. Where is this liquid? I'm not. Sorry, I'm not getting this. What happened?
Okay.
One second. Yeah. It's opening up. Yeah.
You got it? Okay.
No.
So there is a share screen button in the bottom, the green arrow.
Yeah. No. I got it. A different presentation actually altogether. I got it. Right. 1 second. No.
Yes, we got it, sir.
No. There's a different. Sorry. They're not this one.
They're not that one?
Yeah. Let Prasant complete. No, just let me take out.
Okay. Okay, sir. So.
Prashant, you can go ahead if Raja is taking time. Prashant, you can hear me?
Sir, looks like he's not at his desk.
I think Prashant.
So I'm just finding out. So give me a moment. I'm really sorry for the inconvenience. Prashant is just getting. Raja sir, in the meanwhile.
Also just trying, actually, no, I'm not getting this folder out, actually. Yeah.
Okay. So if you want, you can mail me the presentation. I can
Yeah,
operate it for you.
that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the meanwhile, Prashant will start his presentation.
Yeah, Prashant, please go ahead.
Prashant, unmute yourself, please.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So good to see a lot of faces without masks during this tough COVID times. I think now this is possible only with these e-webinars or these webinars. To start with, I am the technical director of my company, Gubba Cold Storage, and to start with, we have started to share about Seed Lab. We started Gubba Seed Lab a couple of years ago, and I think we are the third seed lab to be NABL certified in India. And that's about the Seed Lab. And why we have started Seed Lab is what we have noticed was there's a vacuum for outsourcing expert seed testing. Then we thought, why don't we pitch in there and be that expert outsourcing resource for a lot of seed companies who wouldn't like to invest in a state-of-the-art seed lab. So that's how Gubba Seed Lab was born in 2018. So now in the context of this COVID-19, I would like to share something. March 24th, the lockdown began, and I would like to share one of the incident. March 24th, of course, the lockdown began somewhere around there, and one of our lab assistant had to, even in spite of the lockdown, we have to, because we being in the essential commodities, we had to keep our operations on. And initially, there was, not initially, even now, there's a lot of fear regarding COVID and all. So one of our lab assistant came for her work on the day one. On the day two, her name is Devi. On day two, the owner of wherever she lives, or home, the owner was not allowing her to get inside the house. He was saying, you either work or you stay in our house. You cannot do both. We cannot take the risk of you working and getting the COVID to our house. So, of course, later on, our team went and convinced the owner I'm convinced that we are taking all this required safety precautions. So why am I sharing this incident is like, we at the seed industry are going through such challenges where we are belittled, shooed away, and face such challenges to keep the work continuing even in this tough COVID times. Now, to come back about our lab, there are various tests we conduct in our lab. So the tests are the germination test, the most required and the most popular test probably. In the cold test, the maize, accelerated aging test, the moisture test, and in the moisture test, both the methods, one with the moisture meter and the oven dry method. We also do the physical purity of the seeds, and we do the soil or sand emergence tests. So these are the various tests we do, and all these tests are through the NABL certified processes, not and very strictly adhering to the NABL standards. So, so the idea is we are doing the quality testing the quality of a seed in a lab, and there is no way we the lab people not follow the quality standards, like so, and all the quality standards are perfectly adhered. Coming back to the challenging standards in this, the challenging times in this COVID time, during COVID. See, this COVID has come during the season, the peak season. So it actually became all the more difficult to run the lab during these times. The quality standards which are there are like we have very effective tracking system. Like every seed sample, when we get thousands of seed sample and no seed sample gets lost or gets unaddressed. Like we have perfect tracking system from start to the end and even later. All the information which about every sample can be tracked with this tracking system. In fact, we are even now developing an ERP system where the samples information can be tracked online. That's in the beta stage. Around 3 months or so, even you would know the status of your sample online, which stage the sample is, what are its yeah, I'm back now.
Prashant,
Yeah,
if
we
you
lost the connection.
if you have a connectivity issue, you can close your video and open your presentation. You can close the video, your video. Stop video.
My video. Okay.
You can stop video and you can share the presentation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let me talk about I think where we lost the connection was I started talking about confidentiality. Am I correct? Yeah. So one of the important thing in a seed lab is confidentiality. Whenever a seed company is giving their samples to a lab to get tested, it expects complete confidentiality. So of course, there are two levels of confidentiality. One is no other seed company would know what seed is being tested. Secondly,
Prashant, we lost you. You're not audible.
Oh, I'm back. Again, I lost the connection. Am I correct?
Yes, yes. Now you're back.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm losing the connection. Let me. Another critical thing of a seed lab is unbiased. So confidentiality helps in being unbiased. The results are completely biased. It's got nothing to do with me sending the sample, what kind of sample is being sent. There's no biasness in the test or the methodology. Another critical thing required for good seed lab is quality infrastructure, be it the working germinator or the moisture meter or the ovens. Everything, the infrastructure has to be world class, and that is what we wanted to start with. We are committed for good quality and started with international level standard quality infrastructure. Yes, and another critical thing is, I mean, I would like to acknowledge our team, because of course our team is very experienced, headed by Dr. Atri. She's very committed, very intelligent, and heads our seed lab. And she has trained our team very well with the NABL standards. And in these tough COVID times, again, we're talking in these COVID times, she has ensured all the team is taken care. The tests are done even in these tough times. Coming early, working on Sundays, they have really worked hard. And this is our team. In the center is Dr. Atri. She heads our Gubba Seed Lab, and really want to acknowledge them. They're very committed and very committed people. Yeah, now talking about even more challenges during the COVID times. So what we had to bring forth was very high level of commitments. As I said earlier, the COVID came in the season time. So, and there were a lot of timing restrictions. We had to close by 5, 6 or something like that. So our people started coming early, working on Sundays, and we took a pass and we went to the seedmen to pick up the samples, because it was not easy even transporting. It was not easy for the seedmen to go on roads and deliver seed to the seed lab. So this had to be done to facilitate the need. And there were even some customized services needed by some of the customers. So we gave customized service to some of the seed companies who wanted some specific kind of report, the way it should be tested, and also even those things had to be accommodated, which was very, very difficult, because the time is short because of the timing restrictions by the government, and this being a season, more samples are coming. So it was a huge challenge, but still our people gave customized service. And our team headed by Atri, see, for us, yes, testing is there, and it's a commercial business what we're doing, but it's more about supporting each other. So there were a lot of companies, especially smaller companies, who wanted expert advice with regard to with regard to Germany, with regard to different varieties of testing, and our Dr. Atri, our team, gave required support when it was needed. And to conclude, what I would like to say is, we at Gubba are committed for precision testing, that too with international standards. And to end, I would like to end with an example. One seed company wanted to, again, during this COVID times, there was no courier available to send to different other cities. So this seed company couldn't send their seed. They have a seed lab in Bangalore. I cannot share the name of the seed company though. The seed company has a ISTA certified seed lab in Bangalore, but they couldn't send the seed to that seed lab because of the COVID restrictions. And that seed company sent that seed to Gubba Seed Lab to get the seed tested. So this was a trust ensured by that seed company. So a seed company who has a lab with ISTA standards has and put trust in Gubba Seed Lab, and that's a big thank you from us to them. So for us it was like our commitment of precision testing in international standards is being acknowledged by another seed company. Yeah, so that's how I end my presentation, and thank you everyone. More questions at the end of the.
Thank you, Prashant. Question we will take at the end. So Raja is ready now?
Yes, sir, I'm ready. And
so go ahead, and because we are always, time, we are just shooting our time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Arun, sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for your time and for being here for this 1.5 hour. And thanks, Gubba, for organizing such a beautiful event. So here goes my presentation. So my topic is like looking at various evolving technologies in seed testing and growing customer expectations. So my presentation flow is like something like below. It's why seed testing and what is the importance and what are the changing customer expectations these days, and what is the need for automation, and what is now the latest jargon is the machine vision and what is AI in seed testing. So why seed testing? Actually, if you look at, simply why seed testing is just evolving our the planting value of the seeds and to assess the qualitative seed lots that we are offering to the sale. So what is more important here, by 2050, we are closely around 10 billion people and our food production has to increase. So for that, the only option is that a right quality and the right seed, which is instrumental for the agricultural output. Here, hijack the words of Gubba Seed, every seed counts. Yes, every seed counts if you want to achieve our food security of not only our nation and to the entire globe. So that is very, very important. But if you look at the seed testing journey, so 1869, that actually seed generation, the first lab was established somewhere in Germany, but whereas coming to India, where we have started somewhere in 1961. So there are many labs as such in the government sector, also in the private, and there are many ISTA labs. And of course, many are actually being on the plan in the government, actually planning to do some seven labs, the block levels. So coming to the sophisticated seeds for our changing world, the customers are changing. The customers 10 years ago were not the same today, and the customers 10 years after will not be the same as now. So the customers are changing, and then customer requirements are changing. So if we look at some survey which we have taken from the agri, it's not for the seeds and agri import industry actually. So 76% of the customers, they expect companies to understand their expectations. So if you subdivide, 67% of the feeling that we can do more to them, and 51 say we are still not to their expectations. So this is how the customers are actual expectations are changing, which seed industry need to be careful. So what are the changing customer expectations? Like farmers are increasingly looking towards the genetic progress on the farm. See, suppose let us say a cotton hybrid, which 4 years ago was a super hybrid, but not so super this year. So the fast way, the hybrid replacement is happening. So new genetics are coming and new technologies are coming. So farmers are increasingly looking for the genetic progress on their farm. So the more quality per packet is going to the new norm. So the customers are not looking at the same old standard. The generation say, let us in corn 75. The customers are not going to be happy with the same 75. They want for more. So can we give more quality per packet? That's what is going to be the new order of the day actually in the going years. So now superior genetics and coupled with your the quality only cannot differentiate us from the industry. So that's we have to look for, and simply we have to start our journey towards delivering more quality per packet, and we have to give quality which is beyond imagination of the customer. So for that we have to create a culture in the organization as a total quality organization. So that's the reason whereby we can win our the trust of the customers. So the quality is not just what we think. Actually, quality is something which customer expect, which as a company we have to meet. So we see actually in our CWalks, we see quality as a hotline of our entire supply chain vertical. So quality, there's a reason this entire value diagram actually kept the quality as at the heart of this thing. So our supply chain starts with pre-basic seed, so with 100% of the pure lines, and then of course basic seed, then hybrid seed, and of course processing and the dairy seed. So what we actually focus is around how we arrest our errors in the beginning itself. So is your pre-basic seed is 100% pure? Are you getting the pure lines? So is the parent seed is 100% pure? So that if you can achieve this 100% pure parent seed, so that many of our problems are solved in the hybrid seed production. So if you look at quality, is the quality is happening at a lab? No, the quality is happening in the fields. So which is very important that how we address our fields. So parent seed production and pre-basic seed production is happening in the smaller acreages where we have to address and ensure our 100% purity, and rather than addressing at the hybrid seed which are in thousands and thousands of acres. So this is what actually, so for that we have to have a stringent process measurement parameters. We have to test, so that we are at a zero defect delivery to the farmer and more quality per packet to the farmer. So seed testing in the new normal is going to be something new, because I want to share some of the few words which I have come across in one of the social media. It's about our latest pandemic, that's COVID. So this is, I heard that we are in the same boat, but it's not so. We are in the same storm, but not in the same boat. But yes, your ship can be broken, but may not be mine, and vice versa. So it's quite true in case of seed industry. Now, if you look at it, is 16,000 crore industry when about to go for sale. The lockout has been announced. So we don't know how many days this pandemic is going to last. Hopefully it may be, I think we have to live with it for another 2-3 years. This all means that there is a new normality, something going to be very, very different. So even the pandemic disappears also, it's going to be very, very, very different. So what differentiated this COVID and also what forced our seed companies is that, so those who made their first step towards their traditional, transforming their traditional linear supply chain models to into a digital models. So then who have embraced the mechanization, who embraced automation are clear differentiators, and of course they are in a very different boat. So how? So if you look at the quality, are actually in SCM, we are actually more labor intensive and more land intensive, and of course more resource. In a nutshell, we are more resource intensive. So just I wanted to share.
I think Mr. Raja, you have to put up your mute.
Sure. Pardon?
Your internet.
I'm not clear. Hello? Yeah. Am I audible? Arun sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah,
audible. Go ahead.
So what are that? Now, coming to the new technologies, that's what we need to think as an industry now in the new normal because of the pandemic. And so we have to optimize our resources. So then we have to reduce our manpower and we have to have accuracy. There are certain new technologies I would like to, there are many technologies, but I want to share 1 or 2 technologies. That's what we as a company are looking at and which are actually evolving. So one is that multi and hyperspectral imaging. Actually, this is based on this technology. We have installed one machine in our laboratory from Nebula. So it is just simply a replacement of our purity board where it is actually it's based on the images. Actually, it is detecting what are the ODVs and what are the purity percent of each lot in a split of a second. This is what actually. This is also widely available across the globe. Actually, from a new tech called this the company from US actually. So they are actually promoting this machine with more accuracy and all. Now coming to germination and then vigor analyzers. This is what this is actually again a still work in progress actually, but it has come up with the Israel company. And here, actually, germination scoring time is getting reduced a lot in terms. So many labor actually can be eliminated. You just simply put the germination paper on the feeding board. Actually, it can give you with a split of second. It gives you all the traits of that, germination, whether it's abnormal and then non, the right seed and all, everything is split of second and fed to the computer. So this is what germination analyzer is what it's going to do, and it also can help you in identifying vigor test and all. So Q2 is technology. It has just limitations. It had to establish, and Q2 technology, if you can merge with a technology called the chlorophyll chlorophyll measurement equipment, these things, and you can easily actually take out your germination in 20 to 48 hours. That's one thing, but an extension to this technology is that provided if this technology can be adopted in our processing machines also, which is also being worked out, so that if you feed a lot of around 70-60% germination, the output will be something 90 plus, because it eliminates all our low germ seeds based on the O2 parameters, and then also your chlorophyll contents. So this is actually a very great idea as of now, but it is evolving, and also it takes some more time. This technology gets established and come to the commercial use. So this another technology which we have come across. It's also from Israel actually, because we also spoke to these people once or twice actually when I happened to be in the Netherlands. So they are working on a technology where how you can separate the cells from the right, the right seeds actually. So the hybrids. So this is a technology which is being worked out, and it's purely based on our the artificial intelligence and based on the pictures actually, the machine vision actually. Then how they are differentiating identifying the minute of the physiological characters, differentiate between the cells and the hybrids. This also looks crazy as of now, but it's actually seriously being worked out actually. So given the situation, given those constraints, given the situation that we need to reduce on labor and all these things, and it's much that we have to embrace all these new technologies. And as an industry, we have to work with academia, industry, and to make sure that in the new generation we'll have all these equipments and all these technologies, so that we'll be in a better situation. And also, if you look at the current losses in terms of qualities, out of a 1,600 crore, the seed market, around 700 to 800 crores of seed is lost on quality. So it's a huge amount of saying if you're able to bring in more technologies where even you can separate a low quality seed from the right quality seed. Thank you. Thank you, Arvind sir. Sir, you are on mute because we are unable to.
So, yes, please unmute yourself.
Sorry, thank you very much. Sorry, I kept my mute. Thank you very much, all the presenters, and taking care of the different issues during this period, and also the technical issues of seed testing and seed quality. So now we will take questions. There are a lot of questions are coming from the chat. I think we will take few of them. So Deepthi, will you take the questions, or should I take some questions from here?
So you please go ahead.
Okay, there are a lot of questions which are coming out of the presentations. Mostly people ask technical questions. Few questions I try to answer in the chat. There are a few questions which are there. So one question I will take now, that Vipan Joshi, he said that he tested bitter gourd in the lab by scarification for testing good germination, but in the field without scarification, the germination is happening. So he said that why we in the STL we scarify, how we can scarify the whole inventory, and how we know that it will germinate in the field. So Anybody wants to answer this question, or should I answer? So the answer to this question is that lab conditions, because in the lab condition, you only supply the water and test the germination. And because if the moisture is not going inside the seed, you have a hard seed coat and you have to scarify. But in the field condition, there's a lot of chemicals available which can break the dormancy and soften the seed coat because of the chemicals and different pHs available when you put the seed in the soil medium. So sometimes you get the better germination because there will be a scarification happening in the soil itself. So this is my take to this question. There is another question from Annie Joycey that there is a chance that any inferior quality seed can be improved as superior quality seed in lab as well as in the field and different environment condition. If it is, then how it can be achieved? So who want to answer this question? Raghavendra, you want to take this question?
Carry on, sir. Carry on. I'm just searching for some other question. You carry on with this question, sir.
Okay, so well, you can certainly, I don't know, but certainly you can, there's a different technologies available like seed priming or seed pelleting coating, where you can infuse certain chemicals which can make a seed to perform better. So you can make a certain low germ seed when you do the priming, and you can make a seed germinate well in the field. So there are different conditions available depending on the basic condition of the seed. If it is not very inferior, and you can still make a seed viable and sellable to the farmers. Yes. Any other questions?
So there is one question from Mohammed Arif Ansari.
Yeah.
How long time dormancy in radish, and any best method to identify the seeds dormancy of radish seeds?
I think I answered in the in my through the chat, but I can again tell him that the dormancy in radish is weak. It is from 15 days to a month. It is a physiological dormancy, and one can test through the tetrazolium test to see whether seed is viable or dormant. So one can look into that.
Okay.
There is another question from Ashok Deshwal. How far it is possible to supply 100% assured germination seed of row crops to farmers and build great brand with reasonable profitability? Prashant, you would like to answer this question? Audible?
And please unmute yourself.
Sir, you carry on, sir. You answer this.
100% assured germination. Well, if your seed is really good, the germination 100% is a perfect germination. Yes, we can give close to 98-99% germination if it is seed produced in the best conditions, and seed is harvested in nice way and dried and everything is perfect, then you can certainly provide a good seed. And so I think it is possible. It's not impossible. Yes, germination, standard germination, more than standard germination is always build your brand and profitability.
And of course, in our course, we do have loads of testimonials where
Sound.
Even for 4 years or 5 years.
We cannot hear you. We cannot hear you.
Mr. Kiran would be talking from my system. So please hold on.
So there is some problem in distributing. So there are, in the last 20 years of our Dubai existence, like for maize, we had even like 4 years and 5 years where we have hardly like 3 to 4% of drop in germination. So for a year or two, for a year at least, even we have at least 1% of germination, maybe 1% or even less than that. I hope we can answer that question. Thank you. Over to you.
Sound is a little bit, we have an issue. Can you repeat
Yes,
the question? Can we get this question? Is this, Kiran, can you say, because I have not heard, it's a little bit, sound was echoing.
Oh. So can you answer it back?
Okay.
What's the question? If someone can repeat the question, so then I missed the question.
First of all, apologize to everybody about this connectivity issue. I don't even know if the things are beyond our control, but there are challenges. So, the last 20 years or so, we have many case studies that even after say 4 or 5 years, even a typical product like maize, coriander, or onion, we actually had 3 or 4% drop in germination. For a year, there was 0% drop in germination in maize or onion. So because we have been making 22% 45% are related to many 50% to 14 degrees of temperature. There was in many of our cold storages in the last 1 year. So give back what you eat.
You're not audible. I don't know if I'm the only person who's not able to hear.
No, but there is also issue, I think, some issue with the sound, but I can make out that he said storability of some seed like onion. I think he's talking about onion seed, which I heard a little bit of. See, many seeds have, they have if the fat is a storage material, or protein is a storage material, or starch is a storage material. It all depends upon that, particularly the oil seeds, they have issue of oxidation of oil, and then you have the free radicals, which affect the germination. But it is all depend upon that how you produce the seed, because onion seed, if it is not dried in the umbel like corn, we are now forced drying by harvesting at 30% moisture and bringing down to 12 to 13% moisture. In onion also, if you do the same way drying umbel, in the forced drying, you can get a much better germination, and your storability is much better in the cold store. So you have to go seed by seed. You have to see which seed and what kind of storage compound it has, and how to handle these seeds right from the production till the storability. So I think we have to see all the component and then decide, because normally people say that onion seed cannot be stored. But I have stored the seed for 3 years to 4 years without losing a germination. And sometimes you cannot store even after 6 months. So these are some of the areas which you have to look into.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So, sir, can we take this question from Mr. Mukesh Kumar?
Yeah.
How nutritional products like Cytozyme Seed Plus can help better plant vigor, germination, and other aspects of seed health?
See, cytoplasm is a seaweed. Cytozyme is a seaweed extract which have a lot of these cytokinins and other compounds. Normally, they assist for the higher metabolism and more, seed multiplication. So the people are using it on the crops, and also using, sometimes people use as a seed treatment. Certainly all these growth compounds, they have a positive impact depending on the condition of the seed. So there are many extracts are available these days, and also many pure growth regulators available, which enhance certain component of seed germination and seed vigor, and also crop vigor.
Right, sir. And Another question from Mr. Ishwar Patel. If we got germination within 24 to 48 hours in all crops, is it practically usable for packing of material or is it authenticated?
What is that? If we get germination within 24 hours and
24 to 48 hours in all
Mhm.
crops, is it practically usable for packing of material?
I have not understood fully this question.
I would like to answer this.
Yeah,
I
Mr.
think this is
Rajesh should,
related to Mr. Raja's presentation.
Yes,
he
yes.
he had that, right?
Now, see, as I said, with a Q2 technology, so from Hashtag Global, yes, the technology is available, but the challenge is that how to stabilize the technology. See, once we have to test the equipment with various crops, with various samples, and we have to analyze with a normal germination test versus with a Q2, and then we have to stabilize and develop an algorithms for that. So after that, yes, definitely we can use it.
Right. Got it, sir. So next question, can we use pelleted seeds for next 2 to 3 years or after sales return?
Yes, pelleted seed has not much issue because depending on the kind of pellet you make, it is a pellet material which is used, and if you are using high pellet or we call it low pellets, where we use the ratio of weight to seed and pellet is different. But using it after 2 years is not a problem. Pelleted seed can be used if it is a good storable. You can use for 2 years.
Okay, got it. So this next question is for Mr. Raja. During lockdown period, rice didn't get roguing attention fully. Do you see market problems?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, got it, sir. This question is from Mr. Srinivas. New strategy like stop maize crop in Telangana and shift to red gram. How it influence industry and cold storage strategies in future?
Well, Telangana has issued that according to the demand and supply, they are fixing up the crop acreage, and government is issue notification that based on their proposal that this crop will be sown only in this much acreage and this crop will go into this much acreage. This is the first time this exercise is being done. I think it is this exercise is done in hurriedly because we have not yet estimated that how these limitations will work for the supply chain. Because supply chain, one has to understand completely the supply chain within the area or outside the area, and what is the capacity of the farmers and the crop which can be grown very easily and strongly, and it can have a business outside or within the Andhra Pradesh, then it is okay. But I think if decision like this done in hurriedly, I don't think it will have any good impact on the either farmer or the supply chain.
Right. Is it in the question? There is a question from Mr. Vasudeva Rao.
Yeah.
Paddy is required for immediate packing and dispatch to market, so can't wait for GOT, correct?
Mm-hmm. Well, one has to see that how it is produced. If your production department is very comfortable and they have done the right isolations, right roguing, and if they're confident, it can go without GOT.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Any other question?
Yeah. So I think that's it, sir. So I think we have addressed all questions. I'm seeing if there are any live requests. So from the audience, if there are any questions, you can use raise hand icon. Raise hand. So yes. So Sharad Deshpande, Mr. Sharad Deshpande, I'm allowing you to talk.
Deepti,
Yes.
I have already posted my question on the chat box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you have a look at it, please?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Mr. Narendra.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Narendra, go ahead.
I just wanted to understand how far these seed testing machines are effective in India.
Seed testing machine, one we actually now in Seedworks, we have already acquired one machine from Nebula, which is an Indian manufacturer. So for the purity analysis, right? So which is working perfect for the hybrid standardized. So it's again, it's actually a very challenging task how you standardize the machine for the various hybrids and for the various crops. So once it's standardized, it's working perfectly, and we are getting the work done with 5 times of the speed. Like in a day, we are actually analyzing 100 samples with 5 laborers. Now we are actually able to analyze around 500 samples. That is what the speed. So with the machine, what we are using. The machine that what we are using from the Nebula, of course, I am not going to recommend any company or this thing, but elsewhere there is an advanced technology available, like in US and Israel and all these things. There is much evolved machines are available, but I ideally suggest check for your the right match for the machine, and then so that you can get more precision around.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Narendra.
Sharad Deshpande, I think, asked question that once the seed is taken out of cold storage, cold DS storage, the aging is 2 to 3 times faster than the normal rate. How do we address that? Who will answer this question?
I would like to answer this question. So
Yes,
when we take the seed out and especially in tough conditions like a monsoon or a very hot season, there definitely is an impact in the seed, and there's a thermal shock in the seed. So sometimes there is a tendency to impact the germination, or the aging gets faster. So for this, what we ideally recommend is put the seed in the ante room for 24 to 48 hours, where the conditions are, let me put it somewhere average of the cold storage and outside conditions. So around 24 degrees, around 50-60% RH, and let the seed temperature increase slowly, and so that there is no condensation and there's no thermal shock, and then transfer the seed, load the seed into the vehicle. So the damage to the seed is much lesser. But yes, there definitely would be, once it's out of the cold storage, the aging is a bit faster.
Right. So I think this is probably the last question from Uma Maheshwar. Mutagenic experiments on seed of standing crop is favorable, or seed alone is favorable?
Mutagenic, what is the question?
Mutagenic experiments on seed of standing crop is favorable, or seed alone is favorable?
Well, mutagenic is normally, I know he's talking about tilling population, because in tilling population, normally we phenotype the different mutation in the field by using mutagenesis, either chemicals or X-rays or gamma rays. And then we create a huge population, and we look for some of the phenotype traits. But now there are a lot of molecular screens are available where you can locate the mutation, which is required mutation, point mutation. But now people are using CRISPR-Cas9 system, where we can really target a gene and use insertion deletion. So I think technologies are available for developing traits, these mutagenesis, and hopefully we can create a better trait by knocking down or enhancing the activity of certain genes through different technologies. Yeah.
So, got it, sir. So the questions are pouring. I mean, we have another 3 or 4 more questions, but since we are running short of time,
Yeah.
what do you say? We can close, right?
Yeah.
So any other inputs from the other speakers such that we can close the session? Great.
So,
So-
speaker, last comments. Yeah, they can offer last comments before we close down.
Well, thank you, Arun Saab, for. Oh yeah, sorry. Well, carry on.
Go ahead, Raja. Go ahead. You just give one comment. Go ahead.
Thank you for all the, sir, you were supporting this, and I'm just fortunate to share the skills with you on this webinar. And also thanks Guba Group for organizing this beautiful event, and of course all the audience who has spared their time actually, and it's very, very interesting. And hope Guba will continue for some more events like this and enlighten the entire seed industry by sharing a lot of knowledge around. Thank you.
Raghavendra?
Very, very well. Thanks to the senior leadership, Dr. Kapoor, very renowned person for the seed industry. A very good platform being created, Guba. It's a well start in the era of this COVID. So it's a very well platform where we all can get connected and get insight for the seed business and how to operate, what to operate, and what are the best possible ways to look in front for take up the business. So a good platform. And thanks for the participants for it's a nice audience, nice questions, and happy to serve you again. Thank you.
Prashant?
Thank you, sir. First of all, I'm the speaker, and I'm also the part of the host. So thank you for the wonderful audience. There have been a lot of participants, like close to maybe more than 200 or so. And of course, I couldn't see any of them, but thank you for the patient hearing, and it was my pleasure talking to all of them. And apart from being speaker, where I shared whatever I shared, I also learned a lot of things from other speakers. So the learning was enriching. Thank you to the rest of the speakers.
Thank you, Prashant, and thank you all. And thank you.
A lot of questions, and we couldn't answer all of them.
Yes, please. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, sorry, I'm done.
So thank you, Deepti. Thank you, Kiran, inviting me and giving me the chance to moderate. I don't know how far I'm successful or failure in conducting this thing, but I tried my best to answer a few of the questions and give a new flip to the seed quality traits, which normally people try to ignore and pass on to the last mile of the quality checking. I think if we are vigilant in the beginning, the quality aspects can be much better handled, and we need not to spend money on many of the technology because we know what we are doing. So I think this is a nice beginning, and well, discussions are continuously. The beautiful part of science is that we agree to disagree with each other. So I think many people will agree, many people will disagree, but things will move on. Thank you very much, Deepti and Kiran, once again giving me the chance.
Yeah, thank you, sir, and thank you, everyone. So by saying that we came to an end of this webinar, and to all the audience, we extremely apologize for the technical hiccups that you had to face, but hoping that you gained knowledge from this webinar. You got some information, you got your concerns addressed. We are hoping for that. And yeah, if you have any more further questions, you can mail us and we will reach out to you. And saying that, I thank each of you speakers, Arvind sir, Raghuvirendra sir, Raja sir, Prashant, for your contribution to this event. And I can't thank enough my team who has been supporting us back end. So who have been creating these creatives for social media posts, for promotions, So I want to thank Raj and Jaylek and Naveen especially for this support. So thank you, sir, and thank you, audience.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Seed Fraternity.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks and bye all.
Bye bye.
Thank you.